imagine Twitter will be a little active tonight. Live call-in shows will be active. And so are we, Fighting Irish Faithful, after this garbage thing we had to watch. Notre Dame falls 33-20 on the road at Louisville. 5 turnovers. That's the big thing for me. Offense looks pretty shitty. This is the uncensored podcast. We're going to actually label this one they're never suitable for children, but also probably explicit. Only one rule, don't use the Lord's name in vain. Anything after that, don't care. All right, let's bring people on. Let's get this over with. Please, God, help us. All right. Owen and William, you guys were the first ones on. Invited to speak. Owen, what's up, man? AJ, I see you there. What's up?
Hello.
What's up, Owen? Welcome to the Fighting Irish Faithful show. I'm sorry it's not under better circumstances.
I have a question. Is that a soft call on the face mask behind the play?
What, the one on Ford?
Yeah, the one that was going to be a fourth down.
No, that was shitty technique by him. You block with your feet, not with your arms outstretched.
But like he's behind the play, getting blocked by 2 offensive linemen.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, wait, are you referring when Ford got it when he was on offense? When we were on offense?
No, it was on defense. It was on the fourth Leofau. It was on one of the linebackers. It was going to be a fourth and long. It happened in the third, and they scored a touchdown off of it.
Third quarter's a little fuzzy for me just because I had to put my son to bed and I was kind of fast forwarding shit, and that's when things got really out of hand. So, maybe it's my fault.
I thought it was just a soft call me a homer. I think the refs have been absolutely dog shit the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know. You may be right. I honestly I do not know the play you're talking about.
I think it's Leofau. Is that the one of them?
Oops, sorry about that. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Leofau was getting blocked, and as he was falling down, he caught the offensive lineman's face mask, and they're like, "Oh, face mask, 15-yard penalty."
Oh, okay.
First down.
Oh, I think I know what play you're talking about now. Yeah.
Sam Hartman kind of looked. Probably this is the worst he's looked all year.
Yeah, I'm with you there, and I kind of missed the first part of the game. I did not see live our first series where he threw an interception, which is crazy. It's just such a Notre Dame-y kind of thing where it's like, we've been very clean for the most part with turnovers all year, and now all of a sudden just the damn fucking breaks on this game, and we have 5. So
no, but also the commentators between the NFL and this, they need to stop talking about quarterbacks' completion rates without interceptions, because they're just jinxing. The commentators, Chris, are just jinxing all these motherfuckers.
Well, and I've been tracking. We track completion percentage. We attack. Well, we didn't attack much tonight. Attempts per touchdown. I don't really look at touchdown to interception ratio. I think I do as a whole for teams, but if someone had come into this game and told me that Hartman was going to have the performance he has with 3 interceptions, and Plummer have 1, I'd have said no, you got that flip-flopped.
No, but I think this was one of the longest in history, Notre Dame history, for quarterbacks longest time without throwing interception.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Right as they said it, he threw the first one, and I was like, all right, this is how this game. And I just thought there was another play where I think it was going to be a first down, and it looked like the guy dropped it, but they didn't review it. But
yeah.
It just felt like death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I mean, look, Louisville played a decent game. They keyed in on us. They made us do stupid things. Surprisingly, we had more passing yards than they did, but we rushed the ball. Do you know how much we rushed the ball for?
I'd say about 100 yards, or probably.
It's less than that. So
I'd say around 80.
It's less than that.
What?
$1? No, not quite $1. No, it's crap. So we'll bring AJ on. Yeah, William, I see you there too.
My last thing is I think Marcus Freeman needs I know he's more of a defensive mind. I think he needs to, like, I don't know, check what Gerald Parker's doing.
Yeah.
Because
My
these
my
Jets,
biggest complaint was the sets. You know, if we need to pass the ball, then let's make up our mind. Are we going play action? Are we doing rollouts? What are we doing? But we were in a 12, set package, and then we were bunching people up. I don't know how many times I saw tight trips. And I'm like, what the hell are we doing?
I don't know. Like, I never really like the tight formation. Sometimes it's okay. Like, I think when you're on the opponent's like 20 and you're like just outside the red zone, I think that gives you a lot of freedom. But when you're in the middle of the field, you definitely don't need to do it. And I don't like doing it near the goal line, but that's just one man's opinion. This is how prepared we are for this podcast. I literally just got the notebook out. We're like, I'm wasted. Let's go. Take calls now. Red Snapper, welcome back to the show. And at one point I'm just like, I don't really know if I want to do a show. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care if I'm tired. We're going to do a show. Well, I saw that someone else was doing a live podcast. So we actually, not only on Twitter, but then another popular show where people are not allowed to cuss. That's what I heard. I'll just leave it
fuck
there.
that.
Well, that's what I said. It's just like I was a kind of an a-hole and commented on Twitter like, well, you can come over to my show, which will be uncensored. So we just have one rule: don't break the second commandment. That's it. After that, we'll boot you, but it's because it's sinful. But cussing, that's okay, within reason. This is my brother at Red Snapper 9098, and I am at faithful_Irish on Twitter. So, AJ, you there?
Yes, sir. Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear, coming in strong.
Awesome. So, I'm out here in Louisville.
Stronger than the Irish.
So, I'm out here in Louisville. I went to the game.
I appreciate that you said it properly, too, by the way. So you were at the game?
Yeah, I was at the game. I'm just charging my car right now. So I thought, let me hop on here.
You're hiding from fans, avoiding beer bottles?
I am hiding from fans, actually, because the Supercharger is about, 6 miles away from the stadium. So I'm, parked right here. So we're pretty good. We're pretty far away from the stadium.
Hopefully you have enough charge to get to the Supercharger, right?
Yeah, no, I'm here. It's charging right now, but...
Oh, brilliant.
Gonna drive home to Indianapolis here in a bit. But...
so we're neighbors, basically.
Yes,
I'm on the south side of Indy right now in Greenwood. So.
Dude, no way, dude. I live in Greenwood.
Okay, here, hit me a DM. We'll do something fun.
No, hell yeah, dude. That'll be great.
Okay, awesome.
Sorry. All right, yeah, dude.
Twitter shout out right now automatically to AJ. Maybe he's my neighbor. Did I put a business card in your mailbox?
No, you didn't, but I receive a lot of business cards in my mailbox.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I actually found out that's actually against federal law, so don't report me.
Who gives a shit, dude?
The post office. Post office.
But the post office. The post office is the post office.
I know.
So, you
see the movie The Firm? The movie The Firm, right?
No, I need to watch it. My fiance's been telling me about that movie a lot.
Ooh,
she's into all that.
There's probably a reason.
Fraud.
There's a reason.
Mail fraud.
No, that's the ending. Don't give it away. There's another reason why your fiance wants you to watch it, because it's don't cheat on her. Because okay. Why are we talking about The Firm? So you were at the game. Did you have to puke into a trash can on your way out of the stadium, or?
Okay, so here's the funniest part. Louisville Stadium's bathrooms are garbage. I wanted to puke because their bratwurst wasn't that cooked.
Ew.
So it wasn't really, and the bread was also moldy too. So I felt it coming up. Yes. I felt it going up. And then I'm like, oh shit, I gotta do it. Where do I go? Where do I go for puke? I just ran. And I puked right outside of section 108.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
the separate brats for the Notre Dame fans.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I would assume because she opened the right drawer. When Louisville fans ordered brats, it was always from the left drawer, and then when she saw my sweatshirt, it was from the right drawer.
Oh.
So I'm not making shit up. This shit was to poison us, and we got poisoned on the field and outside the field and right now in my car, but What I'm saying is, like, the beer was good. I don't think the beer was flat. I think the beer was good, but everything else, I think the food at L&N Stadium is terrible. It's just garbage.
I wouldn't
Like,
say it's
dude,
stellar at Notre Dame Stadium either, quite frankly.
it's not, but it's eatable at Notre Dame Stadium. It's just not eatable at L&N.
This is how bad the game was. The game was so bad that we're talking about concessions
I knew it was like, okay, so here's the thing. Stadium was thumping, right? Dude, I have never seen a lit look. Okay, so at Notre Dame, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but when I've been to Notre Dame Stadium many times,
Yep.
the student section is always lit. But like, dude, they're playing all these songs and stuff, and everyone's getting lit here, and I'm just like, dude, they're on to something. Like, this is probably like, it was loud.
They're riding the wave, man. And Notre Dame, elitist, whatever people are just like, doing a crossword puzzle or something. You know what I'm saying? So.
And like there's a couple of plays I want to mention now here, and like which were really head scratchers to me. 3rd and 3, I never really understood why they ran the ball. Like, instead of, like, they knew it was coming. Louisville's defense knew it was coming. They ran the ball and they got stuck. And then there was this pass play to Audric, and he gets leveled in the backfield by 6 yards. And that totally killed the drive. And then there was a face mask penalty at 3rd and 15 in the third quarter, which was a drive killer. And then there was another face mask penalty on the right tackle, which takes away a big gain from a tight end. Well, this is when the game was like 17-13.
Yeah.
If there's no face mask, I have no doubt in my mind that Notre Dame goes on the field and then scores and makes this a different game. But I felt like since Marshall last year, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, since Marshall last year, I have never seen a most undisciplined team like this out here.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that was,
it was pretty bad.
Okay.
Well, last week we had so many false start penalties. It was like, somebody address this, please.
Mm-hmm.
But we had the same thing.
I don't think we had one today.
We didn't have any false starts, but we shot ourselves
just threw
in the
interceptions
foot.
instead.
Yeah,
just bonehead things. Like, I honestly could not believe how much our offensive and defensive lines got pushed around all freaking game. And to me, you can sit there and say, okay, well, Hartman, if you count last year with Wake Forest and this year, that's, a crazy number of turnovers. But when the guy's running for his life, literally the entire game, what do you expect him to do?
Well,
I mean, he's not going to sit there and throw roses and rainbows.
Yeah, that's the irritating piece. It's like, we clearly have better players on our offensive line. And, like, okay, like, Louisville doesn't suck, right? Their tackles for loss is better than Notre Dame. Their sacks per game is slightly better, but it's only 1.8. They're ranked 86 in the country, so it's nothing insurmountable, right? We go in there, we get some, like, bottles or rocks or whatever thrown at us. I mean, like, Notre Dame was flat out coached in this game by far. We were out coached without question. There's no way around it that, like I turn on the third quarter, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? And it's just like, we have no creativity on offense, here's a red flag for me. I'm looking at, like, no stats here. We're going statless tonight. This is like, podcasting commando here. We have, a bunch of rushes or whatever. Hartman ends up having like 10 because he's running for his life. Okay. Which of course he's, minus 12, right? Fine. But if we just look at, like, the running backs and whatnot, like, Estime has 10 for 20 yards. Love has 5 for 37. So he's actually the leader, which is interesting. But Price has 1. Price has 1 carry. It's like, look, like, Estime is great. We love the guy, but maybe he's a little banged up. Maybe it's just not his night. There's nothing wrong with giving someone else the ball. Give someone else the rock to run with it. Like, there's no shame in that.
The only thing I didn't like is, if he's our bell cow, and barring any injury, Why the fuck is he not in on the first offensive series?
Well, and that's my
wasn't.
thing. That's my thing as
Crazy.
well. It's like we get the ball, we're moving the ball, and I'm like, cool. And then I'm helping out at church, right? You know, if anyone didn't see it on Twitter, I was, you know, so that's why I'm kind of fuzzy on the second quarter for sure, because we're cleaning up stuff and, you know, whatever. But I'm like, why are we not running the ball? And then we throw this long interception, and I'm like, okay, that was a good interception, but I was like, by Louisville, but I was just like, why the fuck are we not just running the ball? Like, we clearly have the advantage for a team that had like 20 fucking yards, you know, last week. You know, they end up with, you know, Jordan ends up with 2 touchdowns, 143 yards, probably his career best, you know, against Notre fucking Dame, okay, in their own stadium. And it's just like, this is irritating. You know, like, I haven't seen a game this bad on the road since Miami of 2017.
And like SMA leads the like NCAA in rushing yards, and we give them 10 carries, 10 carries, insane.
Well, and it's like I don't mind that if it's a little higher than that, but like I haven't done the breakdown here of what it was. Like, the fact that Hartman is quote unquote credited with 10 rushes, which is really not right, but you know, it ends up being a function that, like, officially on the stat sheet here, they're saying that Hartman had 38 pass attempts, but it's really more because he's getting credited with 10 carries. So probably like 7 more at least are passes that break down, and then he ends up rushing for it, or he gets sacked, or, you know, whatever it is. And so that just tells me that Notre Dame apparently abandoned the run, you know, something that's supposed to be the backbone of our offense. And for some fucking reason, we can't do it against Louisville. Like, we ran better versus Ohio State. We ran better versus Ohio State than Louisville. Ridiculous.
We ran better last week.
I feel like that game in Ohio State, there was a lot of like pressure leading up on Freeman, so he had his boys ready for this game. But like, you can't go into Louisville thinking that this is a subpar team. This is actually a good football team. I thought. Yeah,
sure, they're undefeated, and they're still undefeated.
And they're still undefeated, and
now we have 2 losses.
And it's just like, we're about to get our 3rd loss next week, but like, I mean, like, I don't know. But like, I mean, it's a weak sport, right? But like, you know, look, I saw a good football team. You know, I said it 3 times already, but like, I'm just like, you know, like, sometimes you lose to these good football teams, but like, I'm not like terribly mad or anything, but I wanted to open this question up to you, you and Red Snapper and all the other people in this chat. Like, what is your take on Marcus Freeman moving forward with this football program? I'm like in the middle. I was more on the boat of hiring Luke Fickell to come to Notre Dame and coaches, but I mean, yeah, you bring his protege in or whatever, or if he is actually his protege, then like, you know, like how are we feeling about Marcus Freeman like now? Like, I mean, we go back home, we face USC.
That's an interesting question. You know, I certainly will not ever make excuses for coaches. The only thing I will say is like, and we just had a shitty loss on the road. Part of me is actually glad I didn't go. Sorry, AJ, no offense, but it's like, I feel like things are still in the washing machine with him.
I wouldn't have drove an hour and a half to come, but like, I wasn't doing shit, so I was like,
I just feel like things are still in the washing machine with him because he's a new coach. He's never been a coach before, and every time, at least over the past, you know, other than Bob Davie, I guess, we've hired a coach and we've kind of let it ride it out, and these are guys who are experienced. You know, I think to an extent I don't want to say took a risk on Freeman, because that's not what I think. But they did. They knew they were hiring a coach who'd never been a head coach before. I'm a little on the fence whether they should have gone for it on 4th and 11 in our own zone, and then they end up scoring right after that, right? So I'm kind of like, but it didn't really matter because like, and maybe that's kind of where Freeman was at. It's like, look, if we fuck this up and they score or whatever, like the game's probably over anyway. So I'm a little on the fence on that decision, even though it was like kind of in our own zone.
I thought the defense played well. That okay, like I mean, they only gave up 3, and the issue was the offense went out there, and I think on the second play, Sam Hartman throws a pick, and after that, I just left because I was just,
yeah, you're like, I've seen this before. I don't need to punish myself anymore.
Yeah, and like the traffic wasn't as bad, so I just like left, but I think after them getting that pick and then that return all the way to like inside the 5 or inside the 10-yard line, I think they end up scoring, and I think they try to go for 2 to make it a 35-13 game, but I think they didn't get the 2-point conversion. So, but I mean, like it's credit to Louisville in this game. Louisville. I don't give a fuck how to say it, but what I'm saying is that, like, it's a good football team. Like, you don't know what you're up against. I mean, they were still trying to find their ground with Lamar going to the NFL for a couple of years, and then in comes Jake Plummer. And Jake Plummer played a hell of a game, I thought.
Sure. He finally gets his revenge against Notre Dame after losing to them twice already, right?
Yeah, and and it's great. I mean, this the student body was nothing but welcoming. I mean, I met a couple of students at Louisville, and they're excited about their football program. But like we have some work to do when we get back to South Bend, see what we can do to combat ourselves against USC. We don't even have a bye or anything to get ready. We have 6 days, and it's back at.
Well, and that's another interesting point. And I don't want to make excuses or whatever, but this is this is something maybe we'll do for the Tuesday night show. You got 2 things here you've asked me to research. One is points off turnovers in this game, because I don't have the time to research this. I'd rather just talk to you guys and let people emote after the game. But the second is, the length of time we've had, in the gauntlet. Like, we started a week early, right, with the game at in Ireland, and then we just week after week, which is great for us as fans, because like, hey, we get to watch the Irish every Saturday, right? My lawn has looked better in previous seasons because I usually use that bye week to do some landscaping or whatever. But the point is, this is a long time we've gone without a bye, and I'm not using that as an excuse for why we lost. But I find it interesting that it's going to be the week after USC is when we finally get a bye. And it's just like maybe under a normal year, but it seems really, really long without a bye.
My take on tonight, to answer your question, AJ, is I don't know if it's so much Freeman himself and the decisions he's making. I would say it's more of Freeman's accountability with his coordinators. I don't really see much to really criticize Al Golden on this game because the offense can do shit. So the defense was out there 3/4 of the time. And
they were trying to make it a game. I will give them.
And they did an amazing job. I mean,
and they did.
How many times did they get the ball in their own our territory?
Yeah, and the time of possession wasn't even that bad. It was based what it was in the Duke game. I mean, it felt like Louisville had the ball the whole time, but really it was 31 minutes for them, 28 for us. So it's really not that bad.
No, and
you're allowed to make mistakes too, right? Like, for example, face mess on the offense. Okay, the offense hasn't been good, whatever. But then I'm willing to let the face mask slide on the defenses because, like, dude, they've been out there for what, 3 1/4?
Yeah,
3 1/4 quarters out there. I mean, like, you make the stop, you're off the field, right? But like, you got 60,000 fans, and I think Louisville just had their historic record of people attending the game. 59,000 fans.
I wish I had $1 for every time the announcers fucking said that on the broadcast. It's like, oh, historic record. And then at the end they flash up like, oh, Notre Dame They're 30. What? And this is just a made up stat. Like someone else was talking about this, and respect to them, but I not on this show, but on another podcast that I listened to, was talking about like, oh, Notre Dame's ACC regular season win game streak. I'm like, I don't really care about that. Like that's a stat for ESPN that they talk about. Like, I mean, I guess it kind of means something, but it really doesn't, because we don't.
No, it's a florist stat. It looks pretty. It's.
I mean,
great
it
to
looks
have.
cool, but like it doesn't
really
mean anything.
No,
It
it doesn't mean shit.
well, and it doesn't. It's not me as a Notre Dame fan. I'm not going to get too excited about. Like, it's kind of like cool. Like, yeah, like, hey, we do
if we
well
were
against
part
the
of the ACC, then it might mean something. But
well,
we're
that's
not,
my thing.
so...
Like,
I mean,
well, so why don't we
stand to
just join the
make
ACC?
So much money. We stand to make so much money as independents. So I'm not. I mean, as
not
long
so
as we
much.
we don't. But like Under Armour pays us a decent amount. But
Ugh, inferior gear.
I mean, it is disgusting. But Notre Dame always will chase the cash cow. They will always do that. Like
then they should have joined the Big Ten. I don't know.
And they should have, but yeah, sure. But like,
well, and I'm not going to go on that rant tonight because I do think Notre Dame should join a conference. But I said that 4 years ago when I started this thing in the first episode I ever fucking did. Well, AJ, we got a ton of people here. We want to let a bunch of you other people. If you don't mind, we're gonna put you on mute, and not that we're kicking you off here, but we got a bunch of people who are joining this show to emote. Because we did promise that they can be uncensored to a degree.
Yeah, sure, no problem. I'm gonna
versus
get on
another
this
popular show that says whatever. So, all right, AJ, have a good one.
Later.
Safe drive back to Greenwood, Indiana.
Sweet, I'll send you a DM.
All right, go Irish. All right, that was AJ Desai 4. I think we've talked to him before on a previous show. Red Snapper, what? You just pissed, or you're like, fuck it. Forget my feelings. That doesn't matter. Let's get some of these other people on.
For me, I'm just supremely disappointed in the offensive play calling tonight.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Without a shadow of a doubt, I could have called a better offensive game than Parker tonight. I know I could have.
Yeah, it's disappointing. The best our offense looked was the last 2 drives. Despite the fact that we had some turnovers or whatever. Warrior Owen, haven't heard from Owen here. Warrior 40, Owen, you guys are on mute, or maybe you're.
I spoke already.
Did you? Oh, that's right. Owen, you let us in. That's right. Owen Mullen 8.
Hi, Joe.
Yo. How's it going? Oh, that's
Good.
Warrior 40. That's right. You changed your handle on me, man.
Yeah, well.
Are you pissed?
Okay.
Are you on vacation
Yeah,
too, like your son?
No, I was last week. Or 2 weeks ago. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pissed. I was on vacation during the Ohio State game. It was terrible.
And we lost.
Anyway.
Look what you did. And your son's off this week. You guys got to pull your
Yeah.
shit together here, all right? Stop going on fucking vacation during football season.
It's our fault. I got tired of hearing all week about, how emotionally drained Notre Dame was going to be and how tired they were.
What's that even
I'm like,
mean?
that's bullshit. But
What are we?
You know what? They did look tired and they looked emotionally drained.
They
They
look
got
tired.
their ass kicked on both sides of the ball.
But
in the
that's
trenches.
fucking football. We've been doing this since fucking high school. It's not like this is a fucking new thing. Emotionally drained, emotionally tired.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
give a shit. You put your pads on just like anybody else who plays the sport at any level, and you play. I don't care how tired it is. I don't care you're there to play the fucking game.
But they had
And
midterms.
if you can't get up to play a game of football,
Midterms.
which I guarantee you, anybody who played at the high school
When are
level,
midterms?
college level, if you had the chance to jump in and play again, you would do it in a fucking heartbeat.
Oh, talk
Like,
to me.
that's what's
Talk dirty
pissing
to
me
me.
off.
But it's almost like they got caught up in that bullshit talk about.
I'd go play right now.
Being emotionally
Take
drained.
a shot of
you know?
scotch. Let's go. Yeah, John.
The
I'm
offensive
pissed
play
too. Like
calling
this, the like
was
do you think like the team is just like mentally they're not as mentally strong as Red Snapper here is suggesting. Like he's kind of speaking like Frank Leahy here, or Vince Lombardi here, like you pussies, like put your pads on and get it going, right? Like do you think they're just like reading into this stuff, and they're just, or what do you think's going on?
I'm not really sure, but on both sides in the trenches, they got their ass kicked. You could say it's bad. The play calling was bad as well, but they just got their ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think anything they would have called offensively or defensively would have made a difference, because they got their ass kicked.
Yeah.
And to me, that speaks to a lack of heart.
Yes. I agree.
That right there, like maybe I'm biased because of who my high school coach was and the way he had us amped up, and practices were war. And the hardest I ever took, the hardest going against my first team defense, it had 3 All-Americans, 4 guys went to Division I schools. Those were wars. And we still strapped on our pads and went out to practice. And still had to put
the hardest hit I ever got was by our starting safety. I was going out for a post route, and actually the ball was in my hands, and I just got nailed.
And that's what it is. But it's that competition at practice that should be tough and iron sharpening iron. And then you get to the games, and where is everybody picking each other up? Somebody made a mistake or somebody did something. I don't care if it was a penalty. I don't care if it was a blown assignment. Twitter went off on, what's his name, the running back who missed the block completely, and it was a free rusher. Where's the rest of the team smacking him on the ass going, dude, you know better. Come on. And picking him up.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point you make, Red Snapper, because I was just like show the guys on the sideline, and they're just all just sitting on the bench, just kind of standing around. Like there's no one on the sideline firing these guys up. You're down by like 10, 14. Like that's not insurmountable. Like we move the ball at will. Like Schrader, like if anyone's the player of the game, it's fucking Schrader. He hit 2 50-yard field goals, for crying out loud.
Which is not what we're used to.
No, it's not. Well, and it also shouldn't be something you quote unquote rely on, like he did it back to back, which was great, good for him. And I'm glad, he's able to silence some of the people giving him flack, when he misses chip shots, of course I'm upset, but no, it's I don't see a fighting spirit in the Fighting Irish right now, and I think that's what Red Snapper's getting at, and John's shedding some light on.
How do you go about that? How do you fix that? Because right now we have, this team doesn't seem to have any fight left after the Ohio State game.
Well, and that's interesting.
Literally, they're not putting it all out on the field. I mean, yes, they beat Duke because they were better, but it feels like we're dwindling off after the fact of beating Duke. We're not getting in there. We're not fighting to the fullest potential. Is this coach not able to get his guys up for a game?
I don't know the answer to that.
And was this a trap game? Everyone's looking at SC, and nobody looks at Louisville.
It's not a trap game. That's just a trap game. Is literally that's just a lot of words. I mean, Duke was a trap game. They handled it.
Update on the Arizona and USC. They're up 17-7.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, there's no trap games. Good teams can be, Is this team wore out? That's the question. I mean, are these guys, did Jack not put us in position to win because of the fact of how he scheduled?
Shitty schedule. Yeah. I think I think Sutton Savage 83 has a legit point, and that's been mentioned before. I'm gonna do some research here to figure out the prior to Tuesday's show, the length of time we've gone consecutively to start the season before we've even had a bye. Like this is ridiculous, and now I'm not saying that's why we lost, but like, you get fatigued. Sometimes you do need that week off. So it's a little strange. And then we got to play USC again.
No, you're totally right. You're totally right.
So I'm not sure. Oh, by the way, someone had mentioned midterms. Midterms were not this week. Midterms are next week. Just throwing it out there. So not only are our players, feeling shitty and I hope they take a bus ride all 5-6 hours up to South Bend, quite frankly, so they can sulk on this shitty feeling. But the put them in a crappy school bus. You know what I'm saying? The problem I see is, now they're going to go through midterms and they're going to have to go through practice the week of USC. Really? Like the academic calendar is set. Okay. Like move the USC game around. I don't know. Like it's really irritating. Like, so, I mean, USC is losing right now to Arizona. So thank you for whoever said that, but no, it's absolute bullshit right now. Like I will say this. Yes, maybe there's fatigue. Maybe the schedule is trash. Okay. And maybe these are the reasons why, but this was a buzzsaw of a game. Like we were number one out coached. They looked way more disciplined than we are. It's like 3rd and 1 and we're running the ball, which is good. Okay. We're under center, but then they have 3 guys in our backfield before our guy even gets to the line of scrimmage. Like, how the fuck does that happen? That doesn't happen on a fluke. That happened consistently at the end of the game. We got outcoached. That's what that is.
Oh, and why are we legitimately changing up offensive linemen, even though we've had an excellent offensive line throughout the year? Why are we changing up offensive linemen tonight? Why is the right guard, left guard getting swapped out every couple plays? That doesn't work. Yeah,
I don't know. You would think they would have figured this out, more than halfway into the season. Like if they're doing that, in the first quarter of the season, first 3-4 games, whatever. Like, okay, that's fine.
Exactly.
Okay,
First game or two.
But this is, I don't even know what game this is. Like, what's this, game 7?
Yes.
Yes, game 7.
Why at game 7 are we changing up the offensive line?
That's a good question. I don't know. I didn't play offensive line, so I don't understand the chemistry of that. But I'll tell you what, every single time. Well, I don't want to say what I was going to say because I actually don't know that, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And either, again, credit to Louisville. Like, we're titling this show, Louisville Deserves the Win. That's exactly what happened. Like, we do not deserve to win after what we played. Like, unless some crazy miracle happens, like the Duke game where we are successful with 2 onside kicks and we score back to back, just like, okay, I guess that kind of magic can happen, and I was actually very surprised we got the onside kick, so again, credit to Schrader, but I don't know.
Well, let's think about this. We literally should have won the Ohio State game. I mean, I hate to go back and claw that up, but we were an inch and a half away from a win with 10 guys on the field. And you're just letting that build up and build up and build up to where we're going to lose and lose and lose. So what is USC with this powerhouse offense? How is that going to look when they come to South Bend?
I don't know. Maybe we should play with 10 guys and then we'll be able to. No, probably not. No, I never want to advocate that. But no, the
do that. But I mean,
that's they'll never see it coming.
I hear your point, but I don't.
We don't need the nose guard. We don't need him in there. Like, what's he doing?
Yeah. Good Lord. Edges. those edges are just
Well, and
that's
that's
guys.
obviously the instantaneous reaction. It's like, okay, we just lost this game, and then we're gonna go back to sleepy South Bend, I guess, and play our rival right after the midterms here, and the dreaded Notre Dame midterms, which of course suck, right? But this sucks. This sucks. All right, we got a ton of people here.
How are these guys going to handle it? Is the question.
I don't know.
How is
I'm not in that locker room right
when
now.
you did not use him the last 3 games when he should have been used?
I am not in that locker room, so I don't know. I'm not in the coaches meeting, so I don't know. There's a whole lot I don't know. All I do know is what I can read here on the stat sheet and what I can see with my own eyeballs, which unfortunately in this game was limited because I was grilling, burgers and dogs and stuff at church and organizing people for that, which was very successful actually. So I'm not too. If my event at church was a grease fire and unsuccessful, and people were eating the hot dogs that AJ Desai had, then would be a different stories. But we had a successful church event, which was great. Fellowship was good. And then I come home to watch this nonsense and talking to all of you fine people, which is fine. So I don't know, like this is an opportunity for you guys, people who are new to the show, the Fighting Irish Faithful show, as part of Dos Leprechauns Media, to get it out there and be emotional, and let's complain about our football team. Or if you want to praise Louisville, you can do that, I guess.
Fucking fuckity fuck is all I gotta say.
What's up, Wookie?
How we doing, bro? Besides
I was
the
wondering
loss.
when Wookie was going to talk.
I've felt better, that's for sure. But
yeah, I wish I had some alcohol in my system. I'm currently working and waiting on calls to come in. So as I'm talking, I could break away to take a call here, but that was embarrassing. I'm sorry. That was missed tackles again.
Yep.
O-line failing. Like, what's up with the O-line?
Wookie, what do you how do you think that went down? Because I think the defense actually was decent. The O-line, though, that's probably the worst I've ever seen our O-line play this year.
Yeah, the offensive line was not giving Sam any time at all to throw. No receivers could get open at all. Like, I'm not making any excuses or anything. I'm just stating what I saw. And there was a couple of good deep balls late in the game, but I think Sam may have overthrown them. We could have had some big plays.
I mean,
Yeah.
like
You're right. You're totally right.
The thing that bothers me about this is like they were the 57th ranked pass defense in the country. They were the 34th rush defense. Okay, so it's better than Notre Dame, right? But like
they were prepared.
Like scoring
they were
defense
ready.
wasn't better.
No,
okay,
they were
total defense wasn't
They were
better.
hungry. They were livid coming across that line. They wanted it.
And another thing is
everything.
they believed that they could win. They got that turnover at the beginning of the game, and it was, I don't want to say game over, but they definitely believed that they could win at that point.
Because that was Sam's first turnover, so they took it and turned it. That was the momentum changer right there. It was that was the first. Was it the first play or the second?
Well,
it wasn't the first play.
Think about it. It turned into three interceptions, and he was on his fourth pass. Before
he was on his fourth pass.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Well,
that's the thing that pisses me off. You run the ball, that shit doesn't happen, right? complete pass to Flores, fine. Then complete pass to Flores again. Okay.
Yeah, he
then
had
complete
3
pass
good
to
passes
Mission.
and then threw an interception.
And then it's like 1st and 10 at the Louisville 49, and we throw again, and it's like, why are we coming out slinging it at the beginning of the game? Like, did you really have to do that? Like,
Yeah. Like, I don't understand what he was doing. Like, why didn't you run the ball with? Because they shut down Estimate.
Like, I don't have a problem if you want to come out and be high powered and try to get the defense on the heels and like make use the pass to set up the run, right? Because that is a thing. Okay, but then like you've got all these running backs, they're all successful. Any one of them could have been the hot hand tonight. You don't explore that. You don't give yourself the opportunity to explore that. And all but like 2 of our turnovers, which is sad that we have to go to that level, all came from passing. It's like you just run. Now, Grant, at the end of the game, you kind of have to, right? And that last one, okay, whatever. But
Love was the only one that did anything of our running backs. Like, honestly.
Yes. Well, but let's look
he
at
averaged 7 yards a carry.
You weren't giving Audric the ball to begin with. I mean, Audric was just kind of brought in as a second gesture to what we were doing.
He wasn't doing anything. He was hitting a fucking wall every goddamn time.
You didn't establish that from the get-go.
Warning.
He hit the fucking wall every time. He has no vision. When there's like no hole, he will not hit it. He just hits the freaking back end of the damn tackles and guards and he just freezes up. Let's talk for. I mean,
let me ask
I'm
this
sorry
question
to
real quick.
hijack. Okay.
No, real quick, and then I'll let you go. And this is kind of like me throwing gasoline on what you're talking about right now. Do you know when he got his first touch of the football?
The second quarter, wasn't it?
Almost 45 seconds left in the first fucking quarter. We finally hand the ball to Estime on 2nd and 1, and he gets it. He gets 4 yards, but it's like that's when you decide to finally get it to him. Like, okay,
Well, I mean, we can talk about that, but the bigger issue is we purposely hired a mercenary that supposedly had all these talents in Sam Hartman, and yet he shows lack of passion.
Well, I don't think it's lack of passion. I think it's lack of coaching.
Wait a minute. When I say that, this goes back to what was already previously said. Nobody's out there. Has anybody watched them on the sidelines saying, "Hey, man"? You look at the great leaders in football. I'm going to have to use Tom Brady as an example. Forgive me because he's a Wolverine. But he would get in his players' faces. All the great quarterbacks who've ever played get in their players' faces and say, "Hey, man, follow me. Let's stay in this game. Let's stay engaged." Well, it's just like,
I'm not saying that he is not
down
that.
7.
I think he used to do that.
William is totally right.
I recall seeing Hartman earlier in the season doing stuff like that, kind of firing up the guys. But I mean, Grant, we were already kind of winning.
Well, these games, not the fucking pushover games.
Well, no,
these games are what matter the most.
And that's the point, right? Like when it really matters, when you really need to be a leader, like real leadership is tested under pressure. Not when everything is hunky dory and it's not midterms.
Yeah, and then you're playing against an HBCU. That's funny. No, it's when someone's smacking you in your mouth and you got blood on you, and you want to look at it and say, do you just stand around and just go, yeah, I guess I'm gonna take it. I'll be that little bitch.
Yeah, I like it.
Just to lighten the load here, I want to say one thing. 2 words. Fuck Michigan.
There we go. I appreciate it.
Totally fuck Yost and Michigan all the way.
Hey,
but this goes back to what I was. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I want to hear what Dose Leprechauns have to say about this. Come on.
The Sam Hartman lack of passion thing is probably the dumbest thing I've heard all night. Sorry. But he's out there giving his all. Last week against Duke, we don't win that game without Hartman's balls.
Don't get this cross between lack of effort versus leadership.
Hold on, let him speak.
to say he doesn't have passion is ridiculous. I'm sorry, whoever said that. You check yourself, because Hartman is out here doing the best he can. The O-line gave him no time whatsoever today. He was running for his life just about every single time he got the ball. So to say he doesn't have passion, there's just no merit behind that. I mean, I can understand he made some bad decisions tonight, obviously. And then I don't know if you guys saw toward the end of the game, they went to the sideline, and Hartman was clearly pissed and talking to his guys. And I think that his guys look at him like, well, shit, man, we just let Sam Hartman down, who's been out here freaking buying us damn Beats by Dre gold-plated freaking headphones. So the guy wants to win more than anything, and unfortunately, our offensive coordinator shit the bed again and did not give him that opportunity. But I highly advise against not questioning his passion, because I just think that sucks.
Well, and I wanna wing. Hold on, I wanna come off that wing there, because I don't necessarily. I think sometimes making claims, and I'm not saying like either you are right or wrong. What I'm saying is, I think sometimes going after the players under these circumstances is what bothers me. Like, I was criticizing the situation, like, why is Estime finally getting his first touch 45 seconds into the first quarter? Why did we not see Price more? Like, if Estime is, like they're keying on him, why don't you put two guys in the backfield so then they have to pick one or something? I don't know. I'm kind of agreeing with Jason here of those Leprechauns, that it's like, look, you have an opportunity here to be more creative and to use, like, if they're really keying on Estime, fine, use that to your advantage. They sick him, and then now you freed someone else. I don't know. It's the coaches' jobs to figure this stuff out. My whole thing is most of the time when I'm being critical of these guys, like, other than an occasional turnover, you just do something really stupid on offense.
And I'm not stopping you guys. Sorry. Is that Jason that was talking on Dos Leprechauns earlier?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the master of Dos Leprechauns.
I didn't get a chance to meet you and your son last year down in Vegas, so I'm asking because I don't know.
Oh yeah, that was
sorry.
me. And
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
I have to. Hopefully, we can meet each other soon at a game.
Yeah,
and this is my first time on, in interaction with everybody. So,
let me say something real quick on going back to the Hartman thing real fast. I don't know if you guys watched the video that they released last week, where it kind of had the final drive, audio that was going on.
Yeah, that was dope.
There's a couple things I noticed there. One of them, first of all, was Hartman was basically like, fuck this, I'm going to run this play that I think is going to work, and we're going to make it happen. Here, let me grab my massively huge, oversized balls and make this play happen on 4th and whatever the hell it was. But Parker had this look like, what are we doing here, guys? The guy is out of his league, and I was trying to be, give him a chance and let's see what he can do. But the inconsistency, the feeding your, leading rusher with 45 seconds left in the first freaking quarter, there's no excuse for that. And I really hope Freeman either challenges his guys or makes it very clear that if they don't step up, they're going to be on the first train out of here.
May I please add on to what you guys are saying?
Go for it, man.
I have two comments. I have two comments to make.
Is this Nate?
No, Nate's not allowed to talk on this forum.
I have two comments to make.
Lord.
I have two comments that are related to this subject. One thing that I'm just noticing is I think we could all agree that the identity of this team is to establish the run, and in the Ohio. Well, but and that's what I'm saying is why are you good teams are like, this is our identity and we're going to stick with it. And then we're going to eventually use that to set up, play action, or we might run a bootleg or whatever.
Is this
and
Mac
I'm just not
speaking?
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to give people credit for who they are, because this is all being recorded. Maybe this is going to scare people. This is going to be recorded and shared, right? So on Fighting Irish Faithful podcast. So at Mac _8806.
That is me. And I'm venting a little bit, but I've just
Everyone
seen
is.
that.
Go for it, man.
And I'm just seeing a little bit, even in the Duke game, like you could see they went away from their identity. And instead of establishing their run and then setting and using that run to set up, and even Tommy Rees kind of did that, would do the same thing. And so there's where where I question, when we got to say, what is the root cause and why is this happening kind of almost year after year after year? And what I might say is a little unpopular, but my question is I'm not trying. I know that this is a very popular man, but is Marcus Freeman, can he gather the offensive coordinator that, someone who could, does he get, part of being a good coach is having a good staff. And
he tried and was denied that.
No.
Well,
okay, but my question
that jury's
is,
out on what exactly happened there with Utah.
But I'm trying, like, this doesn't sound horrible, but like I can't.
Utah
I'm in the
has
West
not
Coast.
exactly put up the numbers.
Right.
Utah hasn't had Sam Rising, so let's just
let's move. That's a moot point in my opinion. But I think what you're getting at, Mac, is the, okay, we brought in Parker, right, and some of the stuff he's done I think is okay. Like it hasn't been all like the Louisville game, right? I think this is clearly fresh in everyone's mind, and that's why we're talking about it. But at the same time, it's like, like I need you, Jared Parker, to step up in a tough game. I need you to, which he did last week, but which is kind of odd that Duke is quote unquote a tough game. But like well, go ahead.
May I please finish my point?
Yeah, go for it.
So
I'll shut up.
Okay, it's okay. So like I'm 35 years old, right? Notre Dame is the only team that every year, and as a good Catholic, I love Notre Dame, but they're the only team that is nationally televised coast to coast every year. How is it that you couldn't even have a cup of coffee with a big name like a David Shaw? You don't think like there's no reason that that Saban, it's not a magic thing that Lane Kiffin, who we could say is a really good offensive coordinator in the college game, went there, because good coaches want to go with big names and then get their own programs. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Marcus Freeman was that. Like, I know he's a good guy. I know we all want it to work. But was that the right name for the University of Notre Dame, when you could maybe have a cup of coffee with David Shaw or go to the guy from Navy? You want to talk about having your cake and eat it too, with being an academic program and also a competitive program. Why aren't we exploring those options?
Kenya
you know what I'm saying?
At the time, I say yeah.
I mean, I love Coach Ken. I just don't know if Coach Ken Niumatalolo is the kind of guy that can take a program like Navy, look, you want to talk about a coach that's disciplined. No one else comes to mind other than Coach Ken. Shaw, you might want to talk to my co-host Red Snapper, because I think he's got a better place with Shaw than I do. But I think you're touching on something interesting, because like, and I forget who it was. This is probably a show from last year, but this is imprinted on my brain that, and maybe this is what you're getting at, Mac, is that like Marcus Freeman, we like him, but is he the kind of head coach that can bring on a real sexy coordinator, or like an OC or a DC that is okay, quote unquote, being under this other guy's wing? Is that what you're getting at?
Yes, and also my point is, in my whole lifetime, who's been, and it's been 35, like I can kind of remember the Lou Holtz era,
sure,
but since Lou Holtz, when has Notre Dame, the team that is on national television every year, when have they brought in like somebody that you knew was going to work? Like a big, like, okay, I know that nobody likes this guy because he's a little bit of a scumbag, but like an Urban Meyer.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, but you know what I mean? How is it Ohio State got that, but we didn't? You see what I'm trying to say? Or it's really odd, because I feel like we have so much more resources, and that's what's so frustrating. It's like, oh, we're a 1-loss team, we're a 2-loss team, we're that tier just below greatness. You know what I mean? And I just don't know why the university, one of the greatest universities in the world, that could say that they have the most historic program, can't get that guy, and why they don't want to try to diligently go after that guy. And they just got Freeman after 1 week and said, we're going to roll with him. And all of his losses have been lack of preparation and discipline. And if you played football or no football, preparation and discipline, that falls on coaching.
Yeah, it's everything.
That's coaching.
Right, exactly. No, I don't disagree with anything you said about the coaching piece, about lack of execution. Anything from Stanford, Marshall last year, we're losing to shit ass teams, right? Okay, maybe Ohio State last year we were a little out of our league, right? Because they had this NFL
but even
quarterback,
Ohio
quite
State
frankly.
this year, that was discipline.
Well, there's someone's hot dog wrapper could have blown in the wind another different way, and we probably win that fucking game, right? This game is a complete this is where people are like yourself are asking like the tough questions, right? You've just brought on a very ballsy question. I think a very courageous question is like, okay, you're not saying we need to fire Freeman, but you're like, does this guy have the ability to make tough decisions or hire the right guys, and work under pressure, and you mentioned Urban Meyer or some of these other guys, and some of these guys are scumbags, but at the same time, it's I think as fans, we're kind of desperate for hardware. And so then it's like, well, now we have to check ourselves at the door. What do we really want? And so I can't answer that for other people, and I'm not going to get into that tonight, but I think these are, I think I'll say this, whether you want to believe it one way or the other, I at least appreciate that you have the courage and the audacity to come out and just say, can we at least ask the question after a tough loss about A, what's wrong, and B, how do we avoid it, and C, how we fix it going forward?
And one last thing, and we've seen this now with the ending of the Pac-12. Let's call college football what it is. It is minor league football. It is. It is. They are professionals. So I know that we like to look, and I like saying that we're holier than thou. I like to say that this is God's team and all this stuff. I do. I go to work and I say,
no, it's the Blessed Mother's team. Okay, get it.
But
right
you
now.
Want to know what the truth is? You're not God. As a good Catholic, you say, "Oh, it's God's plan." I'm tired of saying that this is God's plan. Let's get a guy like Urban Meyer and let's win championships, because at this time, college football, it doesn't matter what your GPA is anymore. I mean, you see it in Colorado. I'm not trying to put them down or put anything down, but it's becoming now with the NIL and all that stuff. If we continue to be and go down this route and kind of be just one tier below, how long is Notre Dame going to be relevant? How long is NBC? You already see the Big Ten Saturday night game. How long is NBC going to want to stick with us? You know what I mean? This is a problem, and it needs to be fixed. You have to, if you want to have all this primetime games and stuff, you have to produce results.
Well, and I hear you, but part of me is kind of well, hold on, and then we'll throw it over to Jason here. But the part of me is kind of
you either have to be Harvard.
Yeah,
or Alabama.
I don't think we're at that point. Well, I mean, I guess if you really want to win titles, but let's just go to Jason.
It's unfortunate.
I just want to say one thing. Since the season's already done, let's just let Sam Hartman call the plays from the line and see how it goes. I'm just saying.
I second that.
I actually would be okay with that. He actually probably has more experience under center than Parker, so I'm actually probably okay with that.
Yeah, just throwing it out there, trying something
Someone
different.
playing ping pong?
Whoa.
That's what it sounds good.
Yeah, sorry, I thought we were muted. That's the dose. We're in the dose cave and we're playing ping.
All right, boss.
Hey, Joe. Did somebody say cake a minute ago?
Cake?
Cake?
Said cake
what?
and it made me hungry. Somebody said cake.
Yes, I said you can't have your cake and eat it too.
There it is. Yeah, that's cake, and I immediately got hungry. Hey,
So you
one
started
of the
playing
things
ping pong.
somebody mentioned Gadelli as the offensive coordinator. I'm down for that.
I actually think Gaduli would be a great OC.
You say Gadelli, I say Gaduli.
I'm down.
No, it's Italian. It's Gaduli.
It's Gaduli.
It's
I just
Gaduli.
saw something on Twitter.
It's
Apparently,
Gaduli.
in the game notes, Joe Alt came out and said that it was the plan to rotate the offensive lineman.
That's
What?
stupid. That's
All
stupid.
right, I need to talk.
Go for it, man.
I have to
Sorry
address
for
that.
interrupting.
I have to address that. That is my main problem with this team. We have 5 running backs and 8 receivers, and we're not allowing anybody to build chemistry because we are trying to satisfy everybody to avoid the transfer portal issue and playing everybody.
That's
Jerome
dumb.
Payne should not see the field. Jadarian Price probably shouldn't see the field outside of kick returns, maybe punt returns.
That's a good point.
Estime and Love are clearly the best 2 backs.
I agree.
We can have Evans as stays. I'm all for getting Raritan in there sometimes when he's healthy. But for the love of fuck, can we keep the same lineup on the field and build some chemistry? Secondly, Marcus Freeman ain't it. He ain't it. He's soft. He's shown he's soft. He can't stop the discipline issues, and that's a problem. And
Well, but like Jason, like, do we really expect him in year 2 to have all that shit sorted out? He's never been a head coach. I mean, for crying out loud. I'm not trying to. No, I am going to defend him a little bit because Lou fucking Holtz. Hold on, Lou Holtz had 8-9 wins his second season, and he had been a coach for 20 fucking years before that. Okay, and now all of a sudden well, Marcus Freeman, tough loss down at Louisville, and we're all disappointed and depressed. I'm not quite there, ready to go there with you guys. If people feel that way, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I'm just saying, yes, okay, the college. And another thing, the college game is totally different. But I do think you're 100% right, Jason, where you're talking about you're 100% right saying they just need to fucking pick the starters and roll with them. And then if okay, they're not performing well, or the other team is just game planning, then you got to rotate someone else in. That's different, okay? But just pick the starting guys and roll with it.
I agree with you. I'm not going to argue with you on that. When whoever was talking before me, Mac or whoever, when we were talking about Lou Holtz did all this and that, I don't know how old everybody is on this podcast. I'm old enough to remember that Lou Holtz botched 3 national titles. We should have had one in 87. We should have had one in 90. We should have had one in 91. We should have had one in 93.
89.
Lou Holtz lost a lot of big games. A lot of big games. And so,
But you were in big games.
He lost a lot of big games. I watched Jeff Burris drop 3 interceptions against Florida State. I watched Notre Dame lose to a Miami team they shouldn't have. I watched Notre Dame lose to a Colorado team they shouldn't have. I have been around.
Stanford? What was that, 92?
Yeah, I've been around 45 years. I've seen it. I saw the national title. Fucking fantastic. We got one. We should have had 2 more, probably 3.
May I rebuttal?
Outside of that, we're not playing enough of the same rotation to create chemistry. We've got 5 running back, 4. Devin Ford ain't playing, but Jadarian Price and Jerome Payne ain't it. It's obviously Estime and Love. Holden stays. Mitchell Evans, obviously at wide receiver or at tight end. We got Thomas. Obviously, Rico's in there. Tobias ain't showing up. Let's play. Let's not rotate. Let's start building some chemistry. Right?
Yeah, if someone's tired, you rotate someone in, and then give them a couple breathers.
Yeah,
and,
we're rotating. Jerome Payne on 3rd and 1, you've got 3 running backs better than him. I like the guy. I like the kid, but Estime's better. Jeremiah Love's better. Jarian Price is better.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
And let's figure this shit out. Freeman has had. I'm not interested in the we're tired bullshit. We came out flat against Ohio State. We had 0 points in the first half. We had 7 against Duke. We had 7 tonight. Jared Parker ain't it. Jared Parker ain't it. It might be that they didn't let him hire Ludwig, but Marcus Freeman is not building a disciplined football team. He is recruiting at a higher level than we're used to seeing, which might skew us. I'm a Marcus Freeman fan. I want him
but he's got to start winning at the poker table, if that's, I think, guys, my battery's down to 5% and the show will end. Actually, it's 4% now. So real quick rebuttal, and then I want to throw it over to Red Snapper, and I got a couple things to say. So Jason, sorry to cut you off.
May I rebuttal?
Rebuttal, Red Snapper, then back to me.
Okay, first I want to say that I do agree with the rotations. Yes. Someone said there's no vision by Estime. How can you if you're not in a rhythm? So yes, that is totally true. But Marcus Freeman, you even said his first ever coaching job was at one of the greatest, most prestigious football programs of all time, not at like North Carolina. He didn't ever prove himself. That's my point. Why didn't we get someone who's an up and coming, who's proven themselves, who's taken like North Carolina to 9-2? That's all I said. Like he just inherited the job. We just said, here you go.
I agree. And our last run at that was Fouts. Our last run at that was Fouts. And that didn't turn out well. We all want Marcus Freeman to
Bob Davey.
Because we like him.
No, he did too. Like, yeah. That's
Davey
my point.
So you gotta be
you get what I'm saying. Is like
and making good decisions.
Why can't we get it up and coming? Like Brian Kelly actually was a good hire.
I agree.
So he went as far as he could.
At the time, I agree. All right, guys, we're down to 2%. I got to throw it back to Red Snapper, and then it'll probably end there, and then you guys will just hear my voice on the podcast version. Red Snapper, final thoughts.
We got what we asked for.
My final thoughts simply are Marcus Freeman needs to be a general with his coordinators
1%.
and needs to hold them accountable, and that's it. At the end of the day, the discipline is on the coordinators and is on him, and it starts with how he treats and basically is the general with his coordinators. Period.
That's it. All right, guys. Phone's probably about to die. I see 1%. That's it. I really appreciate everybody jumping on the podcast tonight. Sorry I didn't charge my phone, but was out and about at church doing stuff. And phone just died. So sorry, everyone, if you're catching this late on the podcast version. Really appreciate everyone. Again, anyone we had a ton of new people. AJ Desai, Colts Fanatic, Owen Mullen, I think you guys have been on. Warrior 40, Sutton Savage 83, new person at Mac 8806, asking the hot questions. And a couple regulars like the Wookiee, Dos Leprechauns, our master of the universe of Dos Leprechauns, my co-host Red Snapper 9098, Irish JTL, Jason, I am Joe at faithful_Irish. Thank you everyone for being part of this. Sorry we couldn't give you a victory, but hey, Louisville deserves to win. Not going to take anything away from us, and these shows are a lot more fun when we win, but Notre Dame was outcoached, was not at all what we wanted. So really disappointing. Not at all what we were hoping for. So we'll go out with kind of a more mellow alma mater here. We got to figure something out here, guys. We got to figure something out. We got midterms, I guess. Everyone's a little concerned about that. Lots of time, lots of games, back to back. We got to figure something out. There's some tough questions being asked in South Bend, and I think we started asking some of them here on the podcast. So have a good rest of your weekend. Well, happy Sunday. It is now the Lord's Day. It is 12:30 in the morning. I'm going to go to bed. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Go Irish, and we'll see you on Tuesday.